Hello and welcome to Gano Guide episode 3. Now today I'm going to be showing you guys how to perk out this gear as well as some basic other items that you'll want to bring to kit out the rest of your equipment. So we're just going to take a look at the Grand Exchange. Now so far we're up to like 7 mil for input costs on this setup. So what we're also going to try and buy here is we want a ring. So let's go ahead and get the Ring of Fortune. They're cheap and they provide tier 3 luck and they're just helpful to have. So there's one. Now we're also going to get a necklace. So there are a few different options here depending on what you have available from quests. Now, if you've done a lot of quests, a great option is either the Necklace of Charos or the Dragon Rider Amulet. These are both great options because they're really good necklaces and they're free. If you have the scratch and you want to spend an extra 10 mil or so, you can get a Blood Necklace Shard, about 14 mil, not 10 mil. And you can turn that into a Blood Amulet of Fury. But a great option if you don't have any of these is just a regular old Amulet of Fury. So that's what I'm going to be using. The Amulet of Fury Trimmed is more expensive, but it does the same thing. It's just a little bit better. So here we go. We'll go for just over a mil. Boom. We've got an Amulet of Fury. Now, let's also, we've got the ring slot covered, we've got the necklace slot covered. Now let's look at capes. If you have any sort of skill cape, like Cape of Strength, Cape of Defense is a really good one. Cape of Magic doesn't really have any great effects, but see, they've got good stats. So if you've got a skill cape and any skill level 99, go ahead and wear that. You can also go for one of these God capes. I'm not going to tell you how to get them because it's weird quests. And we can also look at Cape of Legends as well. That's a great one if you don't have any skill capes and you don't want to spend any money. But bottom line, a good one here would be the, it's called the Obsidian Cape. So it's only around 280k. And it's got pretty decent bonuses. But one that I'm going to show you here, it's called the Ancient Cloak. And the reason I'm going to do this one, this is optional, but I'm actually going to use it for this guide because this provides extra, it provides extra help with the Animate Dead because it's classed as magic tank armor because it doesn't provide a magic bonus. So we're going to go ahead and grab one of these. Boom, Ancient Cloak. So far we've got gloves, hat, ring, necklace, and really we've got weapon, we've got chest, we've got legs. All that we're missing is something for the pocket slot, and we're missing something for the ammo slot. So as far as the ammo slot goes, you're going to want a rune pouch. So let's look at, of course it's going to show us all these, but now if we look at these sealed rune pouches, the large ones, they're really good. They're really expensive. They're like 15 mil or 20 mil each. Now these are all because they're colored. So one of these for 15 mil, highly recommend, but not necessary. Now the grasping rune pouch is even better because they hold 4 types of runes as opposed to the 3, and they provide that the large rune pouch holds, and they provide an extra 1 to your prayer bonus. And it looks like they're really not that much more expensive. They were really expensive when they first came out. So around 20 mil, highly recommend getting one when you can. But for now, we're just going to leave that open. And if you have a Tyrannon quiver from the Tyrannon task sets from the Elflands, you should totally use one of those. Now, as we look in here and continue going on, we're going to see that filling out these gear slots is really important. So we're also going to look at this pocket slot, and I'm going to show you a really good one here that's really cheap. So, Scripture of Jazz. Look, this is 7 mil. I've already got one, so I'm not going to buy it again, but it's about 7 mil, and the pages, the manuscript of Jazz, are dirt cheap, and this is actually phenomenal to run. So that's what I'm going to be using at the start of this guide, is the Scripture of Jazz, because it's really good. It offers a lot of extra damage per second bonus, and it doesn't cost a ton of money, like the Scripture of Wen, or Erethror's Grimoire, or the Scripture of Full do. And really, these are the gold standard nowadays, is using one of these pocket slot books. So, we've got our Ring of Fortune, we've got our Amulet of Fury, 3 pieces of Ganodermic, we've got our Ancient Cloak and our Scripture of Jazz, and now I'm going to show you guys how to perk out these last 3 items. So we're going to jump over to the Invention Guild. Now, one thing that you're also going to want to have are extreme invention potions. So go ahead and figure out how to make those, and they'll usually be really helpful for perking out your gear. But if you don't have them, that's fine. So another thing to show you is, for Invention, Ancient Gizmos Blueprint is something that you're going to want to buy, and this lets you make these ancient weapon gizmos. Now, to show you the difference, an ancient weapon gizmo has 9 slots, whereas a regular weapon gizmo, or even armor, versus ancient armor, only has those 5 slots. So with those extra slots and with the introduction of Ancient Invention, you're actually able to get much better perks. But I'm going to try and perk these out with both weapon gizmos and armor gizmos, as well as the ancient ones. And see, I've made 10 of each, but 3 and 8 here. And when we go to the actual Invention Guild, we're going to see what that looks like. So, as soon as we get to the Invention Guild, go over to the Inventor's Workbench, and this is where you'll make your weapon gizmos. Now, some of these are going to take, it shows you what parts they take. So, to make a regular weapon gizmo, you need blade parts, and when you hover over it, it shows how many you have. Now, I could make a lot more of these if I needed to, and I get this stuff from just disassembling trash as I get it. Now, looking at these ancient ones, it tells you a lot of stuff here that specifically historic components are something that you're going to need a lot of, and I'm probably actually going to go back to the Grand Exchange and buy some. Another way you can see what components you have is by clicking on this little light bulb symbol down here, and it shows you all the different parts. You hover over them and it tells you what kind of part it is, and basically what perks they make. Now, you'll see some of these are common, some of these are rare, uncommon, and then there's the ancient ones. Now, these come from disassembling archaeology, I don't even remember what they're called. Archaeology artifacts. If you disassemble them, then you get these parts. Now, looking at these different categories, they're also ordered in alphabetical order. So if you can't really find one, you're like, I have no idea what an ethereal component looks like. You can look around here. Oh, there we go, E. See, we got variable down here. Now, the place that you're going to want to go to for all of these is a website that it's on the wiki. So you'll go to, here, let me pull this up. So you actually go to, I type in optimal PVM perks RS3, and then it brings me to this. So let's take a glance. First, we're going to go to Magic, and we're going to go for entry weapon perks. So we need Precise 6 and Equilibrium 4. These are each going to increase your damage per minute by quite a lot. And so we're going to put these on a staff. So right here it says probability 32%. We're going to open that up. Okay, it wants me to use 9 historic components. All right, let's give it a shot. So we go to our ancient weapon gizmo shell and put 9 of the historic components in there. Oh, I should drink my invention potion first. Do that again. And what do we get? Precise 6, ultimatums 3. That is really cool, actually. That's pretty rare. I'm excited. Let's see. Precise 6, ultimatums 3. That's really neat. I love invention. It's my favorite skill. And let's see. Wow. Precise 6, ultimatums 3. There was a 1% chance that I would get that one. So that's actually really cool. I'm really pumped. Ultimatums is a cool secondary perk to have, but it's not super necessary. Feel free to look it up. Genocidal would have been nice as well, because that helps out with Slayer. But this isn't a Slayer guide, really, so we'll skip it for now. It's fine. I am more than happy with my Precise 6 Ultimatums 3. So I'm going to put that on my Augmented Staff of Limitless Water. Now, you notice other things that it could have got was a Precise 5 or just plain old Ultimatums 4, Ultimatums 3. I got really lucky on that first roll. Whatever you end up going with, you want to try and roll this perk, do it multiple times until you get something that says Precise 6. If you can only get a Precise 5, that's also fine, but it's just not as good. Now, looking at this, we could have done something similar. Really the way to get precise if you don't have those historic components and you don't have the ancient invention is going to be with Armadillo components. But these are pretty expensive. Another way you could do it that's significantly cheaper would be using precise components as opposed to the Armadillo components. So let's see what it looks like when we roll it with when we roll a regular weapon gizmo with some precise components. So let me find them. There they are. Let's see what we get. Equilibrium 2, cautious. Okay, trash. Don't want anything with cautious. Precise 2, equilibrium 1, trash. Maybe. Yeah, trash. Precise 3, equilibrium 2, much better. Flanking, precise 2, that's neat, but not necessary. Equilibrium 2, precise 2, equilibrium 1. So you're going to get some combination of precise and equilibrium if you roll it like this, which is going to be better than not having any perks, but really you want something that's going to be this, you're going to want something that's going to be this precise 6. So where'd my precise gizmo go? Anyway, oh, I already put it on there. Anyway, I'm going to disassemble all of these now. And then I'm going to use one of my other ancient gizmos, shells, to try and get an equilibrium on here. So let's go ahead and look at equilibrium, because that's the other one that it said we should have. So this has a probability of 98%, so I've got a good feeling about this one. This is going to be with time-worn components. You can buy these on the Grand Exchange. You can also buy the historic components on the Grand Exchange, and I'll actually show you how to do that in just a minute. So let's take these time-worn components, go just like this. Boom, equilibrium 4, too easy. If you get one with Ruthless on it as well, then that's nice, but if you don't, it is what it is. Actually, I'm going to show you right now how to get those historic and time-worn components. So, just type in historic in the Grand Exchange. You can buy a small crate. It's got 100 of them in there. That'll take care of it if you don't already have these. Time-worn, same thing. Small crate of time-worn components. Boom. Cheap. Cheap and easy. Okay, back to the Invention Guild. Shout out to Carlsberg Clan. Some of my friends talking in the clan chat right now. If you want to be in a fun clan, just let me know. And, oh, usually I come back here to check on my Invention machines. I'm just kind of vibing right now and trying to show you guys how to get your gear perked out. So, next up is the armor. Now, this one can be pretty tricky, but we're going to give it a shot. So, let's look at armor. Scroll down here. Remember, this is on the Optimal PVM Perks page. And we're just looking at the entry armor perks because the advanced armor perks can be really expensive. So, biting gives increased critical hits, crackling does some extra damage, and relentless has a chance to conserve some adrenaline from being used, which is really important. Impatient gives you extra adrenaline per ability, and enhanced devoted increases what your protection prayers do. So, we're going to give this a shot real quick. And we're also going to get a shield today, and we're gonna put something on that bad boy. So, starting off with crackling, relentless, biting. That's what we really want. So, let's go ahead and start with this crackling 4, relentless 3. This one's so good, and it's really not that hard to get. We got a 30% chance on it, and we really want to have crackling and relentless. So this is one that its expected cost is about 2 mil, so be prepared. So we're gonna go ahead and add these explosive components. Now, to get these, you can buy hand cannons and disassemble them. And then vintage components, you can also just buy a box of them on the GE. So we got our crackling 4. I really need to repeat this, but it says I don't have enough materials to repeat this, so I need to buy some vintage components. So, well, you know what? First, we're going to go for a budget crackling perk. Now, or budget biting perk. Now right here it says biting 2, and this is actually in an ancient Invention gizmo. See, it's just direct components. Now, we'll take this, and we'll put some direct components in it, and see what we get. Boom. Biting 2, cautious. You never want cautious, so nope, reroll. 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 This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible luck. I'm angry. Just wasted all of those. That's how Invention goes sometimes. So, it's probably because I had this boost on, honestly. But oh well. We're just gonna get rid of these. And I'm not editing this out. I'm not taking these parts out so you guys can see what it actually looks like. And you'll be able to gauge whether or not you had good luck or bad luck. Now, we need vintage components. So, we'll buy a small crate. So there's around 800k. Doesn't want to buy. Let's give it a little boost. Nope. There we go. Now we got some vintage components. And let's see. We got our vintage components. We've got a crackling 4 that we're not going to use, but I'm going to hang on to it just in case we run out of shells. Because sometimes you just work on finite resources and you deal with it. Also going to try and pick up a Ward of Subjugation here. This is going to be the shield that we use. If you have a better magic shield, or if you can afford a better magic shield, go ahead and actually just use that. But this one, for about 2 million, is going to be a great shield that will actually be able to augment, and it'll help you out a lot moving forward. So, just for the occasion when we're not lazy and we want to do shield switching. So we've got this subjugation ward augmented, and we're headed back to the Invention Guild. I've got it in my Grace of the Elves, but you can just teleport to the Falador or Lodestone. Okay, so we're going to try that crackling one again. So we want to put in 4 vintage and 3 explosive. Oh man. And I didn't realize that the small thing only gave me 5 vintage components, so this kind of sucks. Let's take a look at this next perk here. We've already got that covered. We're working on that. Now, let's take a look at what it takes to get this Enhanced Devoted 4 and this Impatient 4. Okay. And honestly, I think Impatient 4 is going to be too expensive for us right now. So, I think what we're going to do, yeah, because this takes an estimated 12 million. So what we're actually going to do instead of Impatient 4 is we're going to go with Absorbative 4. So, we'll get a Turtling 4 on our shield, and we'll get Absorbative 4, Enhanced Devoted 4, a Biting, and a Crackling 4. You know what, we'll just put Crackling on the... We're just going to put this Crackling right here. We can upgrade later on down the road. And we're going to make an Absorbative. So this is just going to be fungal components. You can get this from actually disassembling Ganodermic armor. So we'll go ahead and put some of these fungal components in here. Absorbative 4, cool. So we'll put Absorbative 4 on the legs. We'll put our Crackling 4 on the top. Let's go ahead and make an Enhanced Devoted 4. What's this? Oh, this is our Turtling. Okay. Historic and some... what are these? Rubber bands. Historic and evasive. Alright. So, evasive, 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 and the rest. No, we don't have enough historic components. Okay. Well, we'll come back to turtling. But, we've got Absorbative 4, we got Crackling 4. And we've got our next spot, which is making Enhanced Devoted 4. So this is going to use faceted components. You can get these from disassembling gems. So, looks like I've only got one roll at it, so here we go. Boom. Lucked out. Enhanced Devoted 4, going on the legs. And what else are we going to put on here? Oh yeah, we got to get some kind of biting. So, because no armor is good without biting. Biting is just a fantastic perk. So, normally you use noxious components. These are very, very expensive. So that's why we're just going to go with a little biting 2 or 3. And we're going to look right here. And, ooh, mobile would be nice. So we're going to go for that. Biting 2 mobile, 55% chance. Mobile lets you surge more. What happens when I put on the extreme potion? Nothing. Okay. So. And you can change your level here, and it'll show you what the chances are of getting things if you're not 120. Or if you're not using ancient gizmos, you can also put that on there. So. We go ahead and fill her up with direct components. And then we put a couple subtle on the bottom and see what we get. That's terrible. Repeat. That's terrible. Repeat. Nope. Oh my goodness. We just got hosed. Let me see if nope, I can't even make more of these. Alright. Well, I guess we gotta buy some more historic components. Well, we had to anyways. So, let's just disassemble all these nonsense things. And then we'll run over to the bank real quick and get what we need. So we got to buy some historic components and some vintage components, and that should finish out our armor. Oh no, we don't even need to buy vintage components because we just put the crackling on there. So historic components, small crate, 1. All right, about 1 million. I might sound stressed, but I love invention. It's literally my favorite skill. So we open up those historics. So now I can make a couple more armor shells. Let's see if we can get biting 2 mobile and turtling 4 in one try. Here we go. Boom, biting 2 mobile. That is going on the armor. So now we've got these done. Now let's see if we can get our, you know what? Let's see if we can actually just get that venom blood one. If we're looking at turtling 4, so turtling, yeah, let's look at turtling. Turtling plus venom blood. Ooh. So that's going to be like this, about a 20% chance. Or we could go for just regular old turtling. Let's go for venom blood. That also doesn't use historic components. So, just like that. Turtling 3, close enough. We'll use it. Boom. So now we got a shield for when we need it. We've got a full set of gear. And we've got a couple of these left over. So really what I wanted to show you was just getting the extra gear that we need in order to fill out the rest of our setup so we can make a preset. And in order to do that, now we're just going to go ahead and grab some runes. So I'm going to assume that you're on the ancient spellbook because you're using animate dead. That's kind of a prerequisite here. So, yep, we're on the ancient spellbook. So, we're going to grab some blood runes, air runes, fire, water, earth, death. I'm just going to grab all of them for now and then double check because we don't have rune pouches. So, for exsanguinate, which is what we're mainly going to be using, that's going to cost 2 fire runes and a blood rune. So we need blood runes and fire runes. And animate dead, that's going to be earth, death, blood, and soul. So earth, death, soul. Earth, death, and soul. So I can put the rest of those back. Oh, incite fear. Yep. Blood and soul. So we can actually, or we're going to use incite fear because we got this limitless staff. So we can even put the fire runes back. There we go. We've got incite fear. We've got animate dead. We've got our shield. We've got some super restores. We've got a super war master's potion if you don't have an overload. But overloads are fantastic. And elder overloads, overload salves, those are really, really great. So some type of stat boosting potion. And then we'll get some sailfish because they're relatively cheap and they're really good for healing. And there are some other great items to bring along, but you can always switch those out as needed or based on the guide. But this right here is a really good base to operate off of. So I'm going to go ahead and make a preset out of this and show you how to do that. So I'm going to overwrite this one. And there we go. So now, when you're in your bank, you can actually go to that preset. So that one is, it's going to be called minigame 1. So I can just click on that and it'll load everything out. There you go. Now next video I'm going to show you how to set up an action bar that has really good abilities on it so you know how to use these things. And so you can pretty much just let it carry you and kill stuff. So thanks so much for watching, and I'm excited for Gano Guide episode 4. Have a great day, everybody.